So unless if you are living under a rock, Arne Slot is now the new manager of Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp saying his goodbyes yesterday. Today it's a new era with Arne Slot officially starting on the 1st of June as the new boss of the Reds. And it's going to be exciting that we're going to get into the story of Arne Slot. We've talked so much about this, man. We have really done so much in terms of analyzing exactly what we can expect from this manager. So what exactly are we still here to talk about? Anyway, I'm going to talk about what I feel and why he was chosen above so many people, because I think that gives us at least more credibility over what we're expecting to see from him. So this is just going to be a vibe zone video, excitement, and we'll talk about what the Reds you guys can be looking for going into the future, as Arne Slot is the next Reds manager. So let's go into this video. By the way, if you're joining us for the first time, do me a favor, click the like button, subscribe to the Connect, the best way you support us here at the TFC. And we're going to try to talk about exactly how Arne Slot became the highest rated, by the way, to become the Reds manager, and why he passed the likes of De Zerbi. So many people are calling about them the future of the league and how far they can go. So it's going to be exciting to analyze exactly what could be happening with Liverpool and where we could go next, as well as some changes that are actually happening in the Liverpool squad, knowing that their new manager is already calling the shots. So let's get into it. So there were so many candidates. We remember from Xavi Alonso. Of course, we knew that he was the main target that Liverpool wanted, but we were told that we were never going to get him because the man still wanted to keep growing with this excitement of a project he had at Bayer Leverkusen. I think that's how you call it. Who, by the way, are about to make an amazing achievement in football if they win their next 2 games. But going back into the story we are talking about, Arne Slot, they had to compare the way he plays his games in terms of the data testing and also the eye test, which is always important. So the eye test, what he offers in terms of the numbers, the individuals moving forward. So there was so many comparing of all the managers that were out there, and they were trying to find somebody who's at least closer, similar to Jurgen Klopp. So there are so many graphs that you could have seen already on social media from the stats app that gives you information over how close he is, or even at some points in some situation you expect him to be closer to Klopp, is even higher than him. So it's an exciting manager in terms of exactly what this guy offers. The first Dutch, by those coming to Liverpool in their 130 years of the club, the first Dutch manager, and I've never really been excited. We were told about Edwards and so forth, and this team of work willing to risk and getting the best that they believe is actually the best. And it's amazing that this guy, they've taken somebody out of the blue. And we were told, don't be surprised when this happens. And now that it has happened, so many people are still surprised, but we all knew that this was happening. We all knew that we were going to have a surprise in terms of how the management was going to be decided of Liverpool. And the fact that they chose him over everything, the eye test, his football, I've checked out some of the games and I've really enjoyed it. The way he moves around with the ball, the way he passes around in terms of movement and going into attack. There's always something interesting about it, the way he attacks and the way he goes, because there are so many similarities to some of the great managers in the Premier League. That's why people have now started to call his style of play his own, not similar to Klopp, not similar to Guardiola, not even similar to Mikel Arteta, but it combines all of them, what they do, and creates this an amazing way of attacking in terms of how they do when they go forward. He's not even that guy who wants to hit people on the counter attack the way Klopp's team could actually do, but he's also a manager who knows how to increase so many players in terms of attacking. I once had an analysis of this part. If you have, there's a video that I did, I think in the past week or 2 weeks, when I was talking about how he is able to put so many players in the attacking positions while they're going to attack. And as well, when it comes to defend, he actually creates a low block of, I think it's about 4-4-2, in terms of not allowing any teams to break them down. But also the exciting part as well is the way he still inverts the right back, as well as use the left back as a runner, as what Robertson has been doing. So that's why you would actually see when Edwards and the guys, when they were choosing, they knew what they were looking for in a manager. Now the excitement that we have to look for after this is that who exactly are they going to sign when they want a wide man, as well we have been told, as well as a defender to be alongside Virgil van Dijk, or I don't know, whatever the future really holds for Liverpool, because there is that excitement over where we could go forward with this manager, and I'm really excited. Valverde and Spatel were regarded as strong candidates. So there was Valverde, you remember the manager who was at Barcelona at one point. He was also regarded, but Ancelotti came out as the one who was high on top. Why was Almiron and De Zerbi not really put into in? Why were they overlooked by Liverpool? I'm going to try to explain in terms of how I understood it when I was reading this. Of course, Almiron, you have to understand, if we get him as a manager, there were going to be changes in terms of how Liverpool's formation goes on. Like, Almiron plays like, of course, like Xavi Alonso. And I believe in Xavi Alonso, they were willing to take the long road. But with Almiron, it's the same as Xavi Alonso. So after Xavi said that otherwise, they were like, okay, why can't we just go for a manager who plays like our former manager, but also offers something more in terms of how he attacks, more a little bit of what Pep Guardiola sees, and as well as Mikel Arteta when it comes to defending. So they decided to go to Almiron. They decided to go to Slot because he's not going to change the formation. He's not going to be demanding more targets players who plays in the formation the way Almiron was going to do. In terms of De Zerbi, now with De Zerbi, I think it has to be character-wise in terms of how the manager is, because I think also it had to do with somehow the demanding of the manager, because remember we told you that there's going to be a change. We are no longer be using the manager script. We are not going to be using the head coach, even though we still call him the manager, the boss and stuff like that, but he only focuses on the team and getting the success out of the team, while the rest of the football decisions that are needed in Liverpool in terms of signings, in terms of everything, is done by Edwards and his team. And it's going to be interesting to see how Edwards as well as Hughes they work together to get the best which suit the plays of this manager. So I'm really excited over that. But also, the Slot's brand of attacking football and track records of developing talent impressed Edwards and Hughes so much, because these guys, when they were looking at getting this manager, they were looking at somebody who actually understands how to develop characters as well as young players. The thing that people talk the most about Klopp is how he has been able to implement the young talents to come in and suit Liverpool and the way we actually do when it comes to football. But now, because we are looking at how Almiron is doing things, we are looking at how these guys are doing things. They want players who can just come and fit into their things. They, of course, they do bring talents, but not at the rate of what Klopp does, not exactly the rate as what Slot does. Because if I remember so well, in some of the stories that I talked about last season, the season before, I think the team Fairmont actually bought almost around 20 youngsters, and he was able to create a team that even did not go as far as they wanted, but they were able to compete in the top honors of getting into European competition. That tells you that in a short period of time, he was able to create talent that can actually go and compete to actually earn a higher level. So that tells you exactly what this guy is capable of doing and exactly what he can achieve as a manager. And also, the other thing we can talk about, we have so many youngsters, the Harvey Elliott, the guys who are on loans who are doing so well, by the way. We're talking about Fabio Carvalho, we're talking about so many players. I can't wait to see how Slot comes in to implement his style and help these guys actually succeed. We were hearing so many talks about Darwin Núñez as one of the main players that Slot wants to come in and actually imprint the way he plays, imprint his tactics up to him to make him at least a better player, to make him actually achieve better when he plays in the football game, because he always feels like he's one thing about this man, and we've talked about this for such a long time, that he wants to find the best way to express or to actually tell his truth or what he wants to achieve on the pitch to the players. He wants the players to grasp exactly what he's talking about so that they can achieve what he expects from them. They can be able to be successful as they go forward in their leagues or in whatever they'll be doing. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that one is going to be done as well, to see what is going to be done. how it will go like. So the new boss was regarded as an excellent communicator who will energize the fan base. So one of the things that we've talked about the most with Jurgen Klopp is how much this man has been in fact, the boss. He has been the president of Liverpool, if we have to call it like that. He has been the leader, the guy who holds this mic, who speaks for the fan base, who speaks for the team, who speaks for everyone around. And the fact that they were looking at a good communicator, somebody who can win the fan base, as we talk about what Liverpool. Because one thing you have to understand, we are an emotional club. I'm never going to hide that. That's what makes us special as Liverpool, as the Reds. So having somebody who's very, very good in actually communicating his style of play to the players, as well as to be able to communicate so well to the presses and the Liverpool fan bases listening outside, it's one of the best things we can ever ask for on a manager, because we need a manager who will keep those red flags flying. We need a manager who will get the best out of this, and I think that's one of the reasons why he was chosen above most of the candidates. As much as they have good tactics, are you able to explain your tactics or the way you play into these players? Remember, we are talking about England. The Amron is from Portugal, speaks a different language. Is he able to communicate what is communicate his philosophy to the players in English? So many of these things were also put as some of the things which had to be analyzed and scrutinized by Hughes and Edwards to see if this guy actually fits what they're looking for. So that's why you find that maybe some of the managers did not make it. De Zerbi, we all know, as much as he does talk, you feel like the English is always something else. So I'm not really saying that that could be the only thing that stopped him, but I'm saying that they are looking for a person who can actually get the best out of the players, either through communication or either through the practice of training, which actually gives the better or gives a better philosophy to the players over where we go for in the long run. So I don't know if you agree with me, and I'm curious to see what this manager would do. But one thing I can say, Arne, my new boss, welcome to Liverpool, because there's an exciting club. You can even ask the guy who's living right now, the one who actually has already made a song about you. We always try to give our best. We are always gonna criticize when things are bad, but we will always trust and believe that you are the man of the job. That's why they chose you. So it's gonna be exciting to see how things goes on like, but I'm excited. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What are you expecting of Arne and exactly what he can achieve? And let me know what you are looking for as we go forward. Thank you very much for watching. I've been your host, Sam. This has been the Football Connect, and I'm out. Peace. See me on the other side, and I'm excited because there's so much to come on.